Hi guys, so today we're going to be reading chapter 1 in our unit 3 readers. So first I'm going to go over some vocabulary with you, and then I'm going to have you get out your chapter 1 from your readers. I know that you guys only have the paper copies at home, most of you. So it'll just be that first stapled together first couple pieces of paper that are stapled together, and it says chapter 1 on it, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. But first we're going to go over the vocabulary for this chapter. So the first vocab word is cranium, and that means skull. Expand means to get bigger. Fibula means the small outside bone in the lower part of your leg. Organs are parts of your body made of cells and tissues that perform a specific job. The pelvis is the hip bone. The scapula is the shoulder bone. Shoulder blades are the scapula, and you have two of these triangle-shaped bones at the top of your back. Then the skeletal system is just your bones. The sternum is your breastbone. The tibia is your shin bone. And then vertebrae is a small bone, or small bones that are part of the spinal column or backbone. Okay, so I know that was a lot of vocab and it was a little bit confusing. I'm going to attach this to your assignment just so you guys have it, but I'm not sure that you're going to have to look back at it. Our reader does a pretty good job of explaining the words, and I'll try and stop and explain them as we go while I'm reading. Okay, so I know you guys don't have this book. Well, most of you don't have this book at home, so I'm going to open it up. This is our Unit 3 reader. And I'm going to go to the table of contents to find where our chapter is going to be. So today we're going to be reading chapter 1, the skeletal system. And that is, it says on page 2. So I'm going to turn to page 2. Okay, so this is what chapter 1 will look like. Yours will probably be black and white if you have the paper copy. So go ahead and get that out. If you need to pause me while you grab that, that's fine. Go ahead and do that and then unpause me. Okay, so chapter 1, the skeletal system. Hello, my name is Dr. Wellbody. Some of you may remember me. I visited your school once before. You were in first grade then. We learned about some of the systems that keep your body working. I told you to eat healthy foods so you would grow up to be big and strong. It looks like you listened to me. I see that you have grown a lot since then. You are getting big and tall. So obviously we did not learn or know Dr. Wellbody in first grade because we weren't doing this curriculum. But if we were to be doing this curriculum, you would have. So we're just going to pretend that we know what she's talking about when she talks about knowing us from before. Okay, let's continue on. I am here today to help you learn more about the body and its systems. In the next few days, we will learn about 3 systems: the skeletal system, the muscular system, and the nervous system. Okay, and then over here, the caption under the picture says, Dr. Wellbody presents a slide showing 2 views of a human skeleton. Okay, so let's turn our page. I'd like to begin with the skeletal system. The skeletal system is made up of bones that give your body shape. I have a slideshow here on my computer. The first slide shows the skeletal system. The picture on the right shows what the skeletal system looks like from the front. The one on the left shows what it looks like from the side. There are more than 200 bones in your body. When I went to medical school to learn to be a doctor, I had to learn the name of every bone in the body. I had to study very hard. You kids don't need to be able to name every bone in the body, but you should know that the names of of some of the more important bones. So let's get started. And then over here under the picture, the caption says the skeletal system seen from the side and from the front. And then I want you to think about, what do skeletal bones do? So try and answer that yourself. What do skeletal bones do? If you said they give your body shape, then you're right. So skeletal bones give your body shape. All right, we're turning to the next page, on page 6. Let's start at the top with the skull. Doctors call this set of bones the cranium. The skull, or cranium, has a very important job. It protects your brain. You might think the skull is all one big bone, but that's not the case. In fact, a human skull is a set of 22 bones. And then under the picture, the caption says the human skull or cranium, because remember, the skull is also called the cranium. And then on page 7, we're going to start reading again. Rub the back of your neck. Can you feel the bone that's right at the base of your neck? That's one of the bones in your spine or spinal column. The spine is a chain of bones that runs down through your neck and back. It runs from the base of your skull all the way down to your hips or pelvis. The spinal column is made up of more than 30 small bones stacked one on top of another. These smaller bones are called vertebrae. The vertebrae protect a bundle of nerves called the spinal cord. The spinal cord delivers nerve signals to and from the brain. You may remember learning that animals with spines or backbones are called vertebrates. That's because their spines are made up of vertebrae. So down here, the picture, the photo, and then the caption says the human spinal column. So that's what it looks like. That's the bone inside of us. Okay, we're going to start on page 8. My next slide shows the bone inside your chest. If you tap on your chest right in the middle, you can feel your breastbone. It's also known as the sternum. If you tap a bit to the left or the right, you may be able to feel some of your ribs. The ribs protect inner organs like the heart and lungs. If you look at the slide, you can see why people sometimes talk about the rib cage. The rib bones look like the bars of a cage. So they're saying that in here it kind of looks like a cage. Okay, then back up here. If you look at the slide, we're on the next paragraph. Do you see the 2 large bones behind the rib cage? They are shaped like triangles. There's one on each side. These are your shoulder blades. The medical name for the shoulder blade is the scapula. Okay, and then on the bottom, the picture and caption, the caption says, front view of the rib cage with the scapula in back. Okay, we're moving on to page 9. The last 2 bones I want to tell you about are leg bones. They are called the tibia and the fibula. These are the 2 bones in the lower part of your leg. The tibia is the larger of the 2. Okay, that's a lot of bones and a lot of names. Let's play Simon Says and see if you can remember the names. I'll be Simon. Are you ready? Okay, let's turn the page. Simon says tap your skull. Simon says now tap your cranium. Ha! The cranium is the same thing as the skull. Did I trick any of you? Are you guys playing along at home? Simon says flex your vertebrae by bending over and touching your tibia. Simon says take a deep breath and feel your rib cage expand. Simon says put your pelvis to work and sit down. Now reach back and see if you can touch one of your scapula or shoulder blades. Wait, I didn't say Simon Says. Did I catch anyone? And then our photo over here of them playing Simon Says, and the caption says, Dr. Wellbody plays Simon Says with students. Okay, so you guys are going to Answer the questions on your question sheet. If you need to rewatch this or pause this to make sure you get all your questions done, that's fine. And then make sure you're turning it in when you're finished. It would be very, very smart if you, and I highly recommend that you read this out loud to someone in your house. Again, this is something that you all should be able to read, especially now that you've heard it once. So you really need to be reading to somebody out loud. If there's nobody that you can read to, you can always read to your pets, to your stuffed animals, to your toys. Just make sure you're practicing reading out loud. So that's something we all need to work on. All right, when you're finished, make sure I'm getting your work somehow, some way. All right, if you guys have any questions, let me know.